Live right here at Peace of the Morning. As we wrap up with the Peace of the Morning show, we had a very powerful show this morning talking about what we can do to change the tide and violence. Some of the key things as I close out with the peaceful moment, I want to share them with you. We are in a position right now where we are leading our communities in a path that is either constructive or destructive. Number one, instead of increasing sentences for guns and putting children and adults in jails that are not habilitating or rehabilitating them, what good is it? Removing them from the street for a short period of time for them to become incubated in a system of crime inside the prison, rape and physical abuse inside the prison, mental and intellectual starvation inside the prison. What good is that? We need programs that promote mental health. We need more mental health funding and less funding for jails. We need more mental health in our community, more mental health outreach programs. Secondly, the young brothers on the show yesterday talked about the fact that they are dealing with, they wake up to sirens. They have to train themselves how to go to sleep to sirens. That's unacceptable. Right here in the District of Columbia, down the street from the White House, it's unacceptable. We must create programs that address post-traumatic stress. Our children and our families are growing up in environments where gunshots and sirens are part of their daily routine. That is not healthy, that is not acceptable, and they're going to school like that, and we're expecting them to perform, and when they don't perform, because they've been in these environments and situations, and remember, children are born into situations, and they're born into families. They're not responsible for who they're born to and where they're born. So it's up to us to make sure that our environments are indicative of a place where you should be raising children, which is not one where they have to train themselves to go to sleep over sirens in the United States of America, this great country that we live in. Number three, we must create programs that divert children from going into the penal system. The state of Maryland and the Department of Juvenile Services over the last 10 years has done a tremendous job in shifting children into alternative placement, alternative sentencing. So instead of sending them to the juvenile detention center, or instead of locking them up, they created daily evening programs. It's also happening in the District of Columbia. There's a major trend that the Casey Foundation has pushed, a number of other major foundations have pushed to stop the incarceration of folks and start treating them for the behaviors and the challenges that they have. And so we need alternative sentencing. We need policy that shifts us away from incarceration. Please reach out to the mayor in Baltimore City, reach out to the governor, all of the delegates around the state, and tell them to create more programming and more funding in the area of treatment and alternative sentencing. And last, or next to last, we also must remember sugar is a killer. Sugar is just as bad and is just as addictive, if not more, than crack cocaine. Crack cocaine and sugar are equally, or sugar is more addictive than crack. So why are we feeding our children still in 2017 Kool-Aid? Why are we buying them sodas? Why are we having events where we've got sodas on the table, sodas to give out to our parents and families, and yet we want to stop killing in our communities? Children do not have the reasoning, the mindset. Their minds are still being developed at 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 years old. They need things that are going to help the body, help the mind. Sugar is a killer. Stop accepting it because my mother did it, my father did it, my grandmother did it. We must make the unacceptable unacceptable and make the acceptable acceptable and stop doing the reverse. Last but not least, number 5, we need you to take a stand and lead. Lead. Do not follow ourselves down the path that we've been going through. Take a stand for young people. Take a stand for our communities. There's a meeting going on right now in Prince George's County with the CEO, Mr. Maxwell, regarding the problems and challenges that are taking place in the school system, instead of just meeting, after the meeting, follow up. Get on the phone, go to the polls, do what you have to do to make sure you're involved, do your part to make sure our communities stay healthy and they stay free. This is Darius A. Stanton with the Peaceful Moment on the Peace in the Morning show for Queen Ayasudebe, Delegate Darrell Barnes, and Lady Karan right here on elifemedia.net. Until tomorrow, when it's Funky Friday and we have Love More in the studio, and you know how we do on Funky Friday. We're still going to be addressing violence. We'll have Dr. Bruce Purnell, a brother working throughout the nation on reducing violence in our communities, on the front line, helping guns, drugs, gang members come to the table and deal with beefs here in the District of Columbia and throughout Maryland. Dr. Bruce Purnell will be our guest and one of his local hip-hop artists on Funky Friday here on the Peace in the Morning show. Thank you for joining. Peace in the morning.
All you need is faith.
Curtis Mayfield.
To hear the diesels humming. You don't need no ticket. You just thank the Lord. So people get ready for the train to join, picking up passengers coast to coast. Faith is the key. Open the doors of boredom. There's hope for all among those who love the most. There ain't no room for the hopeless sinner who would hurt all mankind just to save his own. Believe me now, have pity on those whose chances grow thinner. For there's no hiding place against the kingdom's throne. You know there's no hiding place. There's no hiding place. So people get ready. There's a train a-coming. You don't need no baggage. You just get on. All you need is faith to hear the diesels humming. You don't need no ticket. You just thank the Lord.